record now?
There we go.
Okay, so Marie is now recording. I'm on my mobile. I'm going to try and conduct the whole thing on my mobile. So the first, although I'm going to cheat slightly because I've got WhatsApp open on my computer. Just to, oh no, let's see if we can do it. No, I'm going to share the screen. No, I'm not. Not yet. Okay. Let me find my notes. That will probably help, won't it? Okay. I really hope Lantern and Des turn up.
The little boy is too gorgeous.
Here we go. There's
yeah.
Lantern. There's Lantern, yeah. She's coming in. That's great. So we've got Lantern now. In a second.
Dan,
yeah.
I was just saying that your little boy is too gorgeous.
He is pretty gorgeous. He's a lovely kid. It's funny though, because he's been on this tiny bicycle. We cycle to school every day. And he's been on this tiny bicycle for the last couple of years. It's now too small for him. But his big sister Rosie has got a bike that she doesn't use anymore. It's been sitting kind of gathering cobwebs for the last 4 or 5 years. Meaning I've been kind of for the, waiting for the moment when Ollie can now ride it. So I gave it a clean up at the weekend, and he just didn't want to ride it because it was just too big. But he's done it now. He got on. I bribed him with a couple of new bike lights. Okay. And he's happy as anything. Here comes Linda, and so that was enough. And he got on, and it looks like one of those little old ladies in front of a large car. In front of a large car. You can barely see his head over the handlebars. It's fine. He rode all the way to school and back today.
Cute.
So yeah, it's good. Anyway, we've got Linda here as well. We've got Linda, Shaista, Marie, and Lantern. So we've got at least one person from each group, which is good. And Marie's recording for the others, just in case. This is our mentoring session for week 4. Is that right? Week 4, week 5? No, week 5. Now. Week 5 for 2 of you groups, and week 4 for Lantern and Des. Nearly there. Not long to go.
Wow.
So the first thing I want to do is congratulate all of you for last week's video sessions, because they were all so productive. And I thought that you just all did brilliantly. We're going to have a look at the product of one of those meetings in a minute and see what can happen, the potential there is for things like breakout rooms and VC sessions, and how it can be perhaps not as productive as a face-to-face class, but getting there. So the first thing I'd like us to do is, on that note of congratulations, is think about all the things that you've learned since you became, not since the beginning of the COELT course, but since the beginning of teaching the COELT course. I'd like you to think about some of the skills that you have learned, mastered, begun to master. So it doesn't matter if it's I'm completely confident with it, or I've done it once and I feel more confident about it now. What low tech to high tech things have you learned on this course in terms of using online, in terms of online teaching, in terms of online training as well? So I'm going to give you an example. We're going to do this in WhatsApp. Okay, Shaista.
One question before we continue with that.
Yeah.
Are we getting CPTD points for this phase of our training?
Are we getting what? Sorry. What points?
Are we CPTD points?
I don't know.
We received 30 points for when we were training with you. Do we get an additional 30 points now?
I don't know is the answer to that, but I can find out. What am I looking for? I'm looking for our mentoring. There we go. Amelia says, my connection is terrible. I don't think I'll make it. Okay. So in the WhatsApp, what I'd like you to do, I'll find out for you, Shaista.
Thank you.
I'm making a note. In the WhatsApp, I'd like you to write down your skills. Okay. And I'll give you write down.
Sorry.
Wow down your skills. Okay. Cool wallpaper, thank you. Right, okay, so I'll give you an example. For example, you could say, let's start with the basics. Setting up meetings. We could call them specifically Zoom meetings. Okay. So the rest of you, I'd like you to do the same thing, to make a list in this group, in the mentoring group. Hi, Des. Oh, Des does need to come in. Let me find out. Participants. No, Des is not there. Let's find out Des. Can someone ask Des in the WhatsApp if she's coming? Oh no, here she comes. Here she comes. There we go. Oops. There we go. Hi, Des. So from the point of view of the newcomers, anyone that's come up in the last few minutes, you may notice that the screen is a funny shape, and that's because I'm doing this on Zoom. I'm on my mobile. I'm hoping to master the art of conducting Zoom meetings on Zoom, on mobile phones. One low-tech thing we're going to do is use our WhatsApp to brainstorm our skills, our newfound tech skills. So in the mentoring WhatsApp group, I'd like you, obviously not on the screen, or not on the Zoom screen, because that's my page, that's my screen. But in your screen, in your WhatsApp group, on your phone or wherever, type in with a little tick something that you have learned. So an example is the one I've just done, setting up Zoom meetings. You can schedule a Zoom meeting, and you can, perhaps you could break it down and add another one, which would be letting people know.
Just one thing.
Yeah, well, one thing to start with, just smash them out, start brainstorming them.
Or many things.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, I was typing many things.
Well, do that then. Do that then, but itemize it. Try and break it down as much as possible. Sharing meeting links is one I've also added there. So those are two very basic ones to get started, but what about the rest? Very few coming. Lantern's typing lots. If you want to perhaps just break it down, just send what you've got, and then you can add more afterwards.
Okay, I'll delete what I've got and send one at a time.
Uploading video on YouTube, right, Lantern? That was a high point, wasn't it? Zoom settings. So changing Zoom settings, Lantern, I guess you mean. And managing breakout rooms. Very good. Can you? We could break those things down even further, couldn't we? Thinking about the specific skills like opening the breakout room, automatically assigning people to breakout rooms, manually assigning people to breakout rooms, visiting breakout rooms as the host. You know, these are all skills that we've picked up over the last few weeks. Inviting people to a WhatsApp group using a link. Okay, Marie, so this is something you did for the first time.
Yes.
When you became an MT. Yes, Linda's saying using tech tips, lovely. So actually sort of finding the tech tips on the system and pasting them, Linda, is that what you mean?
Yes, Dan.
Very nice, good one. Shaista, setting a laptop for breakout rooms, setting up Zoom meets, sharing links, assigning people to breakout rooms, excellent. Zoom setting, managing breakout rooms, using the broadcast message for the first time. So this was broadcasting to all of the breakout rooms, Marie?
Yes.
Yeah, nice one, nice one. I just broadcast to the waiting room for the first time because Lantern got there early, and then I realised I was going to need to close down, so I sent her a little message in the waiting room.
Thank you.
Shaista says setting the laptop for screen sharing. Right, okay, yes. So choosing which things to share on the screen. Is that what you mean, Shaista? Because you've got a variety of different things you can share?
I'm talking about so that I can show my icons to people when I'm screen sharing, the annotations, etc.
Yes, right, absolutely. So you're showing the Zoom controls.
Yes, the Zoom controls. That's it.
Yes, okay. Showing that Marie's written it in a different way. Sharing my toolbar on my share screen in Zoom. I think that's what you meant, isn't it? That's right. Very good stuff. There's more ideas coming through. Who's going to be first? Yes, Lantern agrees with Marie and Shaista. That's a good one. Using annotations on Zoom and teaching people how to use them. I didn't even know this existed. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it, how you perhaps often just one page ahead of your students learning these things, going, look what I've just discovered that I can do. You can do it too. I'm going to add one here. For me, conducting a Zoom meeting from my phone. Okay. And I'm not using my computer for WhatsApp. I'm doing it here. Linda, hold on. Amelia says she's learned to set up a Zoom meeting, breakout rooms, sharing screen, and Google Docs. We haven't mentioned Google Docs. Very good, Amelia. Linda says using WhatsApp to teach lessons. Well, obviously, yeah, that's right. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Copying and pasting text. Okay, so starting with sort of very sort of fundamental skills of computer use there. Using voice notes and transferring images and pics. It was copying and pasting something you hadn't done before, Linda?
Yeah, never ever.
Wow. So this is all so new, and you've just goes to show how far you've come in such a short space of time.
Trained, man, trained.
You're doing brilliantly. Using voice notes, yes. Transferring images and pictures, yes. We did that in the WhatsApp group, didn't we? Copying and pasting images or opening them, attaching them to WhatsApp messages. And the Google Doc Lantern's mentioned again. And polls, okay. So Shaista, you're going to give the polls a go. Just remember, if practice with the polls. If you want to use them, fantastic. But have a backup plan. What's an easier way to do a poll? Because you could, of course, just do it in the chat box, couldn't you? Or whatever, or send them a link on WhatsApp or something like that. Well done, brilliant. Well, I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that there. But I think that's a pretty good list of, and probably very not exhaustive at all. I'm sure there are other things that we could, if we think about it, we could add to that list. So that's brilliant stuff. Well done, everyone. Yes.
On that point, because we are definitely still in the process of learning in this phase of the training,
yeah.
I strongly feel that we deserve those points.
Yes,
I think we are learning more now than we did in the first 6 weeks, because it's all practical now for us. Yep.
Right. So I'm going to just ask Nikki and Carol this question. While I remember, I'll put some notes here. So the question is, the kind of points you're talking about are they're not the SACE points.
CPTD. It is with SACE.
Yeah.
It is SACE points.
It is SACE points.
Yes.
Google Forms. Daniel, I forgot to mention Google Forms.
Google Forms. Yeah. Something else to add to the skills.
I'm doing that now.
Great stuff. Okay, great
Daniel?
stuff. Yes.
I don't like it on my phone.
You don't like what on your phone?
Zoom on my phone.
Are you trying it out as well?
I prefer the laptop.
Yeah, that may well be the case. I feel a little bit unsure. I'm doing it out of to get out of my comfort zone and to try and experience it and get to know it that way. I think that's just the approach. I'm not suggesting that you try this for Thursdays at all. So let's just go through. I wanted to first of all, just as I said, it's a good moment to kind of big you up and just say how proud we all are of the things that you're doing and the speed, the rate at which you're picking all of this stuff up and getting there. And I think that's really fantastic. So well done, all of you. Yay, big round of applause.
Hey.
I would, there we go, there's my round of applause. Okay, so that was our warm-up. We had a little brainstorm of the things we've learned, and as I said, I think there's lots and lots and lots there. Let's have a look at the next stage. The other thing I wanted to pick up was actually not just learning the basics, but actually innovating the course. So this week, for example, we saw Lantern and Des were innovating by asking participants important information before the VC started. Do you remember, I think I shared this with you, and I think Amelia immediately saw that and said, oh, I'm going to do that too, which is a great sign. It's a sign that it's a good idea. You shared your meeting link, and then you said, if you will be absent, please send your name and a cross. And also say how you will have been attending, either on laptop or phone. And I really liked the use of emojis as well. Not sure if I can show this, but I don't know if that's clear. That?
No.
No, not clear. Too small. I can't actually do that. So hold on. So everyone else, all of their participants then responded by saying Avriel, mobile phone emoji, or Wahida, laptop emoji. And so that was really good preparation for the VC. Trying to get any of that kind of easy admin stuff out of the way beforehand was a really good idea. And that's an innovation. We haven't seen anyone do that before. And it's something that we can share around the group. Not just Amelia's going to steal it, but I'm going to steal it for my VC session. So I think that's really good. And one of the things that was so successful last time is not only were you getting the breakout room started, with getting conversations starting, you were providing a space for learners not only to speak, but also to show their skills. So Akila, big hands up to Akila, who inspired me to do this on my phone, because I was watching her thinking, well, if she can do it, I'll try and do it as well. The reason I'm doing it is because I'm aware of how many people are using their mobile phones on this, and how aware we need to be as trainers of where, you know, what the devices are. And I did a count because of your question, Lantern. I was able to count the number of people. Out of the 22 people, only 6 of them were on laptops. So that's about a quarter, 27%, I think I worked it out as. So a quarter of the class are on their laptops. The vast majority of people, therefore, are on mobile phones. And so in order to put ourselves in our students' shoes, I think it's the same thing with our WhatsApp classes, with anything we do, isn't it? We need to be able to see it from their point of view and familiarize ourselves with what they're doing, what they're trying to do, and what we're asking them to do, and how easy or fiddly it is. It is possible to do most of the things in Zoom, as we saw Akila showing us. We could share screen and so on. So I think that's brilliant. And I am going to share my screen one more time. This time we're going to watch a YouTube video. So this will be the first time I've ever shared a YouTube video on Zoom on my mobile. So wish me luck. And this is Akila. This is the bit where Akila was showing us. So let's watch that. So it's screen, start now. Okay, then I'm going to go to, oh, I thought I had it. No, it's here. Bump.
That is so cool, eh?
You're watching me doing this in real time, aren't you?
So super cool.
Yeah. So here's Amelia's video, and I'm going to see if this works. Are you on your side now?
No. That's right.
Okay. So this is Akila in Amelia's lesson, and here's
Wow. I'm blown away. Hey. Wow. Daniel, I have a question. Lanton has a question.
Is that me? Somebody asking me a question?
Yes, Lanton. Okay, so I'm checking. She must have Google Docs on her phone, right?
Yes, yes. I think so. But you can see and hear her, can you?
No, I
couldn't hear.
can't see anything.
I couldn't hear anything.
Oh, you couldn't hear anything. If you go to the... No? Oh,
No.
okay. Well, I'll stop that then. That was a fail. All right, never mind.
Could
Stop
Amelia
sharing.
perhaps give us the link and then we can watch it on YouTube?
Yeah, of course. Of course, I will do that.
Awesome. Lovely.
Well, let's do that now, actually, and then you can have a quick... So what I'm sharing with you is the moment... No.
The moment.
What? Okay, so something's gone wrong. Close that. Close that. Open that. Go to dummy, which is my...
My greatest concern pertaining the using your phone. What if you receive a phone call?
Good question. I've got no idea. Also, there could be kind of personal stuff, like you might have WhatsApps from your, from your mum or your husband or,
True.
whoever.
And they might pop up.
Exactly. Anyway, I've sent you the YouTube link.
Okay.
And that's a link to, this is something I've learned recently, that you can link to a particular moment in your YouTube video. So you don't have to, so this is obviously a very long video, 35 minutes or so. But if you add at the end, T equals 480, then that's 480 seconds into the video.
I'm trying to see. Oh, okay, I got it.
There you go.
What's happening?
People are watching
Everyone's
the
dead.
video. I'm still here. I think people are watching
I
the
haven't
video.
maneuvered. I haven't been able to maneuver this thing.
All right. So I've sent you a link and to a YouTube to that clip where Akila is sharing her screen from her mobile phone during Amelia's meeting. And once everyone's back, if you can please put your hand up to show me that you are back in the room.
Yes. Sorry, I'm on group 2, but I answered group 1, and I'm sorry. But anyway, our question was: a participant joins, his or her webcam is off, but you can hear very loud noises, dog barking, people talking in the background from the microphone. We said to handle the situation depending on the ages of your audience. We said the younger audience.
Okay. You could stop now, everyone. Stop the video.
Side, if we're the host, because
Linda, is that you watching?
would need your assistance. But we as older children, older audiences like us as adults, we could just indicate to them to please mute themselves, just as you did a few moments ago. We could just ask them.
Like deja vu.
Yeah. Okay,
Whose
we'll finish.
group was that?
Very much, and thank you for showing us how you did it on your phone.
Ah,
now
okay.
Okay, stop. Everyone, can you stop the video?
Don't mind.
Sorry.
Who is that?
Linda, I think.
Linda,
Sorry.
Linda, stop the video.
Linda, honey.
Sorry, guys.
No problem.
It was
It's
just
off
very
now.
noisy.
Yes,
Okay, here's what not to do when you share a YouTube video. Have everyone watch it with their sound on.
Yep.
Okay, well, you can watch it afterwards when we've had a finish. But basically, the idea there, she's sweeping between the different windows on her phone, So she's able to maneuver, and I've done that a little bit now with the WhatsApp. I showed you the WhatsApp group, and I tried to show you the YouTube video, and now I'm going to show you the Google Doc, because that was the next thing I wanted to talk about, was the fact that you created a really productive session, and you all got that Google Doc being filled in by the teachers, their ideas, and hold on, done. I think I've got it open. Let's see, I've got it open. So I want to show you Marie's Google Doc at the end, sort of the end product, if you like, of what she and her group were able to produce. So I'm going to share the screen now. Start now. And I'm going to find that. And can you all see the breakout room task VC4?
Yes, I can.
Yay! So this was Marie's task, and Amelia did the same with her group, and also had responses. And as you saw, Akila had plenty to talk about. She wanted to explain what she had and her partners had been talking about in their room. So we can see lots of ideas coming through there, and just as you would do in a very productive training session in class with a group of teachers around a table, brainstorming to a secretary who's writing it all down. In the same way, Marie managed to get her instructions really clear and sorted and efficient in order to open those breakout rooms in time, with everyone knowing what they had to do, and knowing which room to go to, knowing all of those details, those complicated details that we practiced last week. She was able to do that, and room 1 had 6 ideas, 6 written ideas. I think all of these people, each group had lots. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ideas that they wrote down there. Group 3, a variety of ideas. Group 4, same again. Group 5, not so many. Maybe group 5 had problems or whatever. But look at how productive that is. All of these ideas, and I just think that that's what we're after, isn't it? We want online learning to be as productive, or even more so, than face-to-face classes. And here we're getting there. I'm going to stop sharing now. So I think that is a really positive sign. That shows that you're doing online teaching effectively, and results, there's evidence to show, and that's brilliant. And the last thing I wanted to say about the Zoom sessions was just again sort of reiterating that idea of time management. We can make it as good as that, but I think, Marie, was it your policy basically to focus on that one single breakout room activity during that session?
Yes.
You didn't really get much more achieved.
Group 5, where they struggled to comment on between the group of them, they kept getting disconnected. It was shame. It was terrible. Yeah. But that was the main thing that we focused on. Yes.
Okay. And I think that is, that's a recipe for success. In your case, Marie, you recognize how long it was going to take to set up, and how careful you needed to be, and how much time they needed in breakout rooms to get it right. And so you were able to focus on that and limiting it to a much longer stage. And I think, Amelia, I think you took a lot longer. I think you were still trying to show controls, show people lots of different details about Zoom controls and things like that at the beginning. And maybe it's a question of honing it down, simplifying it just to, and saying, my goal this week is just to conduct this breakout room activity and get feedback or whatever. Okay. That's it from me. That's all I had to say. It's just lots of positives about how good you're getting at this.
Yay.
So it's up to you now to tell me. Yay. So I want to give it over to you. If you have a question or a point you'd like to make, or a technical question or something like that, then please do turn your mic on, turn your video on, and speak, and we can discuss it now. Who's on this week? Who's teaching this week in terms of WhatsApps and things like that? Just looking for my pen.
From our group, I'm doing the WhatsApp tomorrow, and Linda
Who's that?
is doing.
Is that you, Shaista?
Yes. From our group, I'm doing the WhatsApp, and Linda is doing the VC this week.
Okay. And what about Lantern and Des?
Lantern did WhatsApp today. I'm doing WhatsApp tomorrow.
Of course,
And
yeah.
we're still deciding on Thursday whether it's Lantern or myself.
Okay.
I'm gonna do
If
it.
Lantern
Des.
does Thursday, then I will do the next 2 weeks.
Yes, Des. That's it.
Okay. Good thinking. I just, yes, do bear in mind that, you know, get your feet wet, get stuck in. If you can both, if you can help each other. So maybe we've talked about before about the kind of dynamic. If you're not so confident with the whole Zoom control, you know, hosting a Zoom, you can let the other person host it officially, so that they've got control of the breakout rooms and things like that, the waiting room and setting up breakout rooms, and then you can focus on giving the presentation and doing the talking. It's up to you, but that might be a good halfway house sort of way of preparing. Okay. And Marie, I guess you're doing everything.
Yes. Aren't you surprised?
Okay. What about, how is everyone in terms of this week's WhatsApp lessons? So this will be week 5's WhatsApp lessons, because I know Lantern has just stormed it with her WhatsApp week 4, which was the films one. Have you had a look at WhatsApp 5? Not yet. So you're getting to blasé now, Marie.
I took this weekend off. I took the weekend off. I didn't look at share it until this morning. I lied and told them I'd spent the weekend marking, but I'd finished marking my English papers on Friday, and I took the weekend off.
Good for you.
We had no rain for the first time in a week, so I spent the time with my family. So
Brilliant.
I will look at my share it tomorrow. I mean, not my share it, my VC and my WhatsApp, and I will panic tomorrow.
Okay, very good. Can't focus all that panic in just the middle of the week, and then you don't need to spend all week doing it. Okay, what about Shaista for the WhatsApp tomorrow? You had a look at it or not?
Yes, I have. I think I'm good.
You're a good student.
Goody.
Any questions or nasty surprises when you looked at it? Should be fine.
No, it looks fine. It looks fine.
Good. And Linda, how about the videoing this week? How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I need to, go over quite a number of things again.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about dividing people automatically or manually in the breakout rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to hear what you think. And is it easier to do it manually?
Are you, what are you planning to do when they're in breakout rooms? Are they doing things like
I know
Google
what
Docs?
you did last time with us is you had people talk about the rules pertaining to breakout rooms.
Okay, but there was a Google Doc associated with that, wasn't there?
I need to just check that. But
because I would suggest that you've got this issue with, if you're getting them to do things which rely on one of them having a laptop, then you need to make sure that there's a person with a laptop that's reliable in each group. Yeah.
I don't think it was that so much. I think it was more discussion about whether, how you perceive the rules.
Okay.
Are you with me or not?
Not really. The rules, how you perceive the rules.
Yeah, variations in how people contribute to the rules of a group.
Okay, so are these kind of classroom rules, these are breakout room rules, yeah?
Yeah, these are more rules with regard to the breakout rooms.
Is it things like netiquette, you know, like turn taking and nominating a leader and that kind of thing? Is that the idea?
That's yeah.
I can't, I'm a bit rusty. I can't remember the actual task itself. I remember vaguely. But all I'm saying, Linda, from your point of view, the basic question you need to decide is to what extent you're going to rely on things like Google Docs and stuff, because you might want to simplify it. In fact, I'm sure you do want to simplify as much as you can. Get them into breakout rooms, but maybe just have them talking about it without having to worry about a Google Doc as well.
Right.
You could get them, for example, doing what I just did, which was we were on Zoom, but I got you brainstorming all your skills on WhatsApp.
Mm-hmm.
And that saved that hassle of having a Google Doc floating out there as well, which just adds to the technical complexity and juggling nature of that activity from the tutor's point of view. Do you see what I mean?
Yes, yes, I hear what you're saying.
If you could just automatically, if you automatically assigned them into groups of say 5,
Mm-hmm.
then even if one or two people drop out, you've still got 3 or 4 people in there. So bigger groups, and each one you just say the first person whose name appears on the automated register or list of breakout rooms, and you just say, okay, Chantel, Peter, and Siko, you 3 are you're the leaders in your groups, and then and your job is to write down the ideas, and they can just write it down by hand.
Shouldn't we get them to decide on the leader?
Well, you could, although then it's often much quicker just to nominate someone, because they can spend 5 minutes trying to decide who's the leader, and that's not what you wanted them to be doing with their 5 minutes. You want them to be actually getting down and doing the task. So I tend to be a bit bossy at that moment, and I say, okay, Akila, you're the leader. Elizabeth, you're the leader. And I can choose then people I know are going to be confident and responsible and organized and intelligent about it as well. So you know your star students. You know the people that can get the job done with the and get everyone involved. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And half of that presentation, or half of the VC, seems to be about presentation, about different ideas with regard to Zoom and breakout rooms.
Yes. Yeah, we've been thinking a little bit about this because we're going on into the future. We're looking at they've got the contract for Nigeria now as well. So I'm going to be doing this whole thing again with teachers in Nigeria. And we're looking at the whole aim of these VC sessions. If the teachers ultimately aren't going to be using Zoom and breakout rooms very much when they're teaching, then we probably want to focus more on WhatsApp groups and WhatsApp lessons, because that's where this training is taking them from a professional point of view, isn't it? So really the task the task as set in VC5, I haven't looked at it, but as far as what you're telling me, it's about rules in breakout rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And that's flexible. You don't need to do that. If you prefer to do something, you could look at the preparation for a WhatsApp class, for example. What do you need to do to turn a lesson from a face-to-face lesson into a WhatsApp lesson? What differences are there? And what does that mean from the point of view of planning the lesson and delivering the lesson? That would be a suitable task. So what I'm saying, but going back to what we looked at with Marie's Google Doc, is focus on 1 or 2 very simple, things in your VC session. Don't try to achieve too much. Okay.
Right.
so that then they've got plenty of time in breakout rooms. They've got time to do the task, and you've got time to visit them and monitor, and then you've got time afterwards for them to give their feedback and share what they've discussed in their breakout rooms together again in the main group. And knowing how long that takes now, it's probably a question of honing down the task as much as possible and keeping it simple. Okay, so
Right.
my instinct would be to say, I can't remember because I haven't looked at it yet, but if VC5 has Google Docs in breakout rooms, is that what I was doing with you? I think it was a breakout room. It was a Google Doc where people wrote down the rules for the.
Oh yes.
I wouldn't bother with the Google Doc. I would just get them discussing it and making notes, and they can make notes in their notebooks on a piece of paper, and then they can tell you those. And in the feedback, then you can say, now, Akila, you were the leader in group 1. Turn your mic on and your video on and tell the group what you discussed. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Rather than creating a Google Doc, and it can get really messy, can't it, with Google Docs? And who knows, where are they supposed to write it down and all the rest of it. If you're feeling confident, great. But if you'd rather just sort of, keep it simple, then that's what I would suggest. There are generally easier ways to do things, even if they're just writing notes in the chat box or on a piece of paper and telling you, or doing what I just did with you earlier and using the WhatsApp groups that you've got available. They're very used to. They can write things in there, can't they? And practice practice the instructions. Make sure that you've got it very clear what you're going to say to them and in what order, so that they know what to do before you send them away. Because once they've gone into the breakout rooms, then you don't have any control. It's very much more difficult to then sort of correct any instructions that you might have missed or whatever. Okay.
Okay. Thanks so much.
All right, Linda. Moving on to Lanson and Des. You've got.
Yeah, and I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay. How long do you advise us to visit each group during the breakout rooms?
I think that depends. Same as in class. My analogy is always like, what would I do in the face-to-face classroom? If I've set up a complex activity like a discussion or something like that, the first thing I do is I go around the whole class quickly just to check every group is doing the right thing. So I'm checking that they're on task, checking that my instructions were clear, and correcting anything that might be wrong. So I'm not wasting lots of time. And then the second time I go around in more detail, and I might stand and listen to the groups talking for a bit, and sort of fine tune that and make sure that they're going into enough detail, or that everybody is contributing to the discussion. So there's other questions to answer as they're getting into it. It takes a few seconds if you've gone into breakout rooms as host and come out again. It takes a few seconds, doesn't it, each time? So it's a lengthier process. So again, it's a good idea to set a nice meaty task and then give them 10 minutes to do it, rather than say, go into a breakout room for 2 minutes and come back out again. There's no point doing that. You might as well just still stay in the main room. But if you give them a nice meaty task that's going to take them a good 10-15 minutes, then you've got plenty of time to do that, to go in once quickly just to check everyone's on board, doing the right thing, and then again later for other reasons.
So is it possible if we have 6 groups, I visit the 3 and Des visits the other 3?
Yeah, except that you can't if you have got a free Zoom account, because there's only one host, and only the host or co-host can visit breakout rooms.
Okay, interesting. Thank you.
So a better thing would be that one of you, whoever's back, doing the backroom stuff this week, stays in the main room just to check that there's nobody who falls out of a breakout room and ends up in the main room on their own, or there's people in the waiting room because they've lost connection, and so you need someone. So I would suggest you have someone in the main room just kind of keeping an eye on things.
Okay. And then I'd like to share an experience I experienced as a teacher.
You'd like to share what, sorry?
I would like to share today's experience.
Okay.
I had a teacher visit me at school in my class, and then she was like, "Ma'am, I need to tell you something." I was like, "What, ma'am?" And then she was like, "I actually became confident using Google Docs. So what I did, I gave them a video on how to, step by step, on how to create it and so forth." And she said that now she feels more confident. So her and I were discussing, and I said, you can even use this because she and another teacher, they share a subject, right? So they have to compile the formal assessment. So I said, see, you don't have to cut and paste and then send the page to the next teacher. What you can do, share the document. You can do the first 5 questions. The teacher can also agree or edit a few things and then add the next 5 questions. And there you have your formal assessment. You print it and it's done. She was so happy and she went to go tell the whole teacher.
Great. That's so cool, Anton. So this is not one of your COELT students.
It is one of my co.
Oh, it is.
Yes,
it is. And she's now and you've taught her Google Docs and now she's using it professionally.
She's using it professionally.
Oh, that's fantastic, Lanton. Brilliant stuff. Really, thank you for sharing that.
Thanks for giving me the platform.
Good stuff. Good one. Any other questions or doubts or anything from this week? I think that's it from me as well. Presentations, breakout rooms, yeah. So I will find out, Shaista, I'll find out from Nikki and Carol about the points that about this and see where we go from there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Anyone else, anything to say? No? Okay. Well, I'm going to enjoy and have a celebratory cup of tea now that I've mastered Zoom on my phone. And even shared screens, although I've got to work out sharing YouTube videos a bit better. That didn't work, did it? Did any of you see the video playing on the shared screen?
No, it wasn't doing anything on my side. It was like it was frozen.
Oh, really? Okay, well, that's a shame. Okay, maybe that's asking too much of the technology. Who knows? Or maybe it's just too much of me. But there we go. It's worth a go, isn't it?
Dan, there was just no sound. Yes.
Thank you.
Sign here.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
so we'll see you again in the next couple of days. And good luck with everything. Give me a shout if you need anything. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.